All right, so you saw my short. I went and bought this stuff. So nowhere on the bottle does it say for solvent-based gaskets. Brian commented on the video. I didn't read it. Went and got the package, and under the plastic piece that covers this on there, in little teeny writing in the bottom right corner, it said for solvent-based gaskets. So it should say foaming action gasket cleaner for solvent-based gaskets right on it. So this is usually what I buy. This is a Case IH gasket remover. Kind of looks like and smells like paint remover. Never tried it for paint remover, but I have sprayed and sprayed and sprayed this stuff. And I do have an awesome carbide scraper that one of my subscribers sent me, but I mean, it'll get it, but you practically gotta take a hammer to it to get this stuff off. It's just so dang baked on there. It's a little better since it's been 50 coats of gasket remover sprayed on it. But I mean, most of these came off with a steam cleaner, but there's just some that, like this one, just miserable. Anyway, so I'm gonna give up and go after it with the wire wheel. So Jake made me some bearing pullers for the cam. This is the slug that goes in either end, so you can pull them out or pull them in. And this is the slug that goes in the bearing. So we've got all of that stuff out. So I need to get wire wheeling. I've got all the paint off of it. I'm going to get with that Hotsy soap. It's called Ripper. About the only thing it does is rippers your money right out of your wallet. There's got to be something better that actually takes it off, but I think that's called what is that called, chlor something. I got some bottles in there. I bought some of the chemical that they've taken out of paint strippers, but you can't use it right out of the bottle because all it does is boil off into carbon dioxide, gets really cold, and it'll kill you if you breathe it. It needs to be mixed with something. Now I have poured that stuff in my paint stripper, and it still doesn't take paint off. So I don't know what, there must be some kind of secret combination of stuff they mix with it. Anyway, we're just gonna take the wire wheel to it. Heck with it. So let's go to town here. I gotta go buy a new wire wheel cup, but as you can see, the wire wheel takes it off fairly decent. I didn't really want to breathe this. I was gonna put on the papper, but my battery's dead. For those of you that don't know what a papper is, I'll show you. But right now I'm gonna run in town and get me some more wire wheels because I'm gonna need to take off paint too. But this one, this is a gasket scraper Clyde Acor gave me, and you can use a hammer on this one, but I've just never seen gaskets this stuck. This is unbelievable. And even right here, I just wire wheeled this. and it still left residue. Now, yeah, I can go get one of my 3M discs, but they tend to take metal off, even the rubber ones. I don't like doing that because you got a nice clean flat surface, and you take a roller lock of some kind to it and you can end up with a mess. You'd be using silicone on it to seal it. So I'll go get a wire wheel and bring you back. Is this a better deal? I think it's a better deal. I don't have to breathe that stuff at all. Yeah, baby. Here we go. Oh. Treat me like you do. It's a deal breaker, babe, when you treat me like you do. All right, this is called a papper, and that's the fan unit on the back. You've probably seen Curtis at Cutting Edge Engineering wear them. So we got these. We got this back in 2019 when Matt was running the filthy whore out on the government job. So it keeps you from inhaling all that gasket stuff. Who knows what's in that? I don't want to breathe it. So the carbide scraper wouldn't take it off. The gasket remover wouldn't take it off. I have never seen gasket that stuck before. Well, I take that back. I have two. And that's basically what you have to do, is take a wire wheel to it. So I got this side done. Back end, we just finished. You saw that. Front end's done. So now I need to roll it up and tip it over on the other side and do it. But I was cleaning up here to see if I could see a machinist stamp of how much they took off this deck, but I can't see anything. I may have ground it off with the wire wheel, but if they did stamp it, it wasn't very deep, so it'd be, this is the only flat place on it you could stamp it. And that's generally what a machinist does, is they'll put it on the head or on the block somewhere where the head and the gasket doesn't cover it. I don't know. If you've seen a machinist do it somewhere else, let me know. I can't believe they'd put it on the deck because it would just disappear. So I got a hold of my cat dealer and asked them if they could deck this, cut the counterbores and then line hone it. And they said, yeah, they could deck it and cut the counterbores, but they can't line hone it. They'd have to send it out. So I haven't got back with them. I'd kind of like to find somebody who can do everything, because I think the cost to send it out just raises the total overall cost, because you know as well as I do, they're going to mark it up. Whatever somebody else charges to do their part, they're going to mark it up, because that's just the way it is. Plus there's the shipping, and if I have to take it to Salt Lake or somewhere, I'll bet they have Wheeler do it. So I got some contacts at Wheeler. Maybe I'll talk to them and see what they say. Okay, watch this. Gently, gently, gentlemen. Why the whole concrete rumbles when I set it down. I wiped this lens off, covered in junk still. I need to wire wheel this side and the pan rail. I need to take those 3 little 3/8 studs out and the 2 or 3 5/8 ones that are left in the front. And then go to pressure washing the head bolt holes out. I had to take the bolt out and move it in that one. It was so nasty going in. Steam clean all those bolts out. And then I bought some stuff to get rid of the rust. Oh, first I'll have to get a wire wheel and drill, go down there, clean out the lower counterbores so I can see them good, and the uppers and inside the block where the cylinder liners go around, knock all the crud off of there. And then let's see, I got some more plugs to take out. I'll take out these 2 so that we can brush those all out, make sure everything's out. I talked to Dwayne on the phone, and that's the back, it's on the front. So that there's a tube in here, right here. It's got holes in the tube. Where are they? Right there, that tube. And that sprays oil against the cam. So I got to take that plug out so that I can rod in and out of there. And then I've got to get these water pump drive shaft bushings out. And I forgot to mention to Jake, I probably need a tool for that. There's one here, and then there is one. Where are you? Where are you? Can't see. Where? There's one right here, back on number 6. And then, let's see, was there one there? I can't remember. Must have been one here that we knocked out. Still got one cam bearing in the back I got to get out too. But in order to pull that one, I can't find my long rod that I used on the Cummins. So We've had these two short ones with a coupler nut, but they're not long enough. I don't know what I did with that piece of ready rod. It's got to be out in the van trailer with the Cummins stuff, because it's not in the shop and it's not in the other van trailer. So that's all cleaned off. I still faintly I can make out maybe a serial number stamped in there. I don't know how you'd raise that from the dead so you could read it, but it may not be the original block that went with that tractor either. Who knows? So I'll get her cleaned up, remove the studs, all the other shit, steam clean it one more time, and then spray it with that rust remover. See if that works. Seems like I don't have much luck with chemical products lately. Seems like you buy them and they don't work, at least not like you'd think they would. So I'm gonna get busy here. I couldn't really get the paint off this side with wire wheel, so I put paint stripper on it and covered it up with that black pan. Got pretty much all the paint off, and then I sprayed it with some phosphoric acid. It's a real light solution, and that's ate the rust off of it fairly good. It's still really heavy here where they never got any paint on it. Got a little flash rust, but the white residue is the phosphoric acid, and I don't know if I can find somebody that has got a hot tank, something I could put it in, to finish cleaning it up inside, boil all the crap out of it, get what rust is on it off. That would be awesome. The phosphoric acid's a pain in the ass because it's such a big block. You squirt it all down and then you got to get that stuff off, or it'll just flash rust, and you just don't have enough time to blow it off with a blowgun. So I don't know, maybe next time I'll rinse it off with solvent and scrub it with a brush, solvent and a brush, and get it off maybe. I don't know. I just know it's a giant pain in the ass. So I've had enough for a day. It's about 8:45. Sun's going down clear over there. What is it? What is today? 19th, 21st of June will be the longest day of the year. After that, they'll get shorter and shorter, and that sun will go over the building and be over there sometime in December. That's depressing to think about, that every day after the 21st gets shorter. All right, welcome to D9 Theater with Jpaydirt. Let me adjust my chair here, lock it so I don't tip over. There we go. So got the block here back in the shop. Dave called me today. He's found me a crankshaft in California. They've had it inside for a long time, standard crank, but it's got some surface rust on it from sitting, so they think it'll have to be ground. Anyway, for $7,500 they'll grind it and I can have it. Talked to a guy in Oregon. He's got a complete G-Series engine he'll let me have for $2,200, but that would give me a crank and some rods that I need. And it's not like a bulldozer motor, it's an industrial motor. It doesn't have the same water pump. Non-spacer plate. Like I mentioned, I talked to my cat dealer. They can deck it, and they can cut for the shims, but apparently they got to send it somewhere to get the line bore taken care of if it needs line boards. So it's in the shop because it's cloudy outside. I think it's going to rain. I would also like to find somebody that's got a washer big enough to put it in to remove all the built up, caked up crap in it that I didn't get. So that it comes back virgin clean. Ready, just, I'd have to take it outside and solvent it. Take all my brushes and run through everything, make sure it's good and clean, get the shop cleaned up, get it on the table. But before I do all of that, I think what I need to do next is get it tipped up on its head and clean out the bores really good, clean the caps up, get the caps on and torqued down, and then get my bore gauge and go in and see what number 3 and 4 main are like, what they measure out at. Maybe it doesn't need lined honed, I don't know. Anyway, I need to get some parts ordered, need to get a crank, some rods, get all this machine work done. And then while all that's going on, I can tackle these pallets and pallets of parts and start working them over. Had a comment, guy said a 20-foot shipping container, and that's a super good idea. I could, as I rebuild things in that, if I got a nice clean one, a fairly new one, I could stage everything in the shipping container and basically pretty much clean the shop up so I have plenty of room to work. I got just a lot of things to get out of here and get rid of, pistons, liners, just junk, and then get tearing things down and cleaning up. How long is this gonna take me? I don't know. At this rate, what are we on, episode 7? How many episodes are we gonna have, 100? It's just a daunting task. There's just so much stuff. Had somebody, it was Clyde. I was talking to Clyde on the phone today, and he reminded me. So last year I did the track frames on the Cat. Then this winter I did the N14. Now I'm doing a D9 engine. It's going to wear me out probably, or just keep me in good shape. I don't know which. Anyway, a lot of guys said I could get the crank welded. If I could find somebody that was very knowledgeable, who'd done a gazillion of those, and they said, hey, Jeff, we can fix that, and it's not going to be as much money as buying another one, and guarantee that it would never break, I'd be all over it. But it's just so hard to find any old guys that are knowledgeable and can give you that confidence. I've never ever had a welded crank. Had somebody make the comment that when they took locomotive engines apart, they always had them welded. They never had a problem. And that may be true. Maybe I can get it welded, but where? Where can I find somebody to do this? That just the amount of work it would take to build a crate to get that thing shipped off, and then the freight. It'd probably be cheaper to throw it in the back of the Super Dodge and go. So anyway, that's where I'm at. I want to tell you a story about Dwayne. Dwayne calls me, I call him. So I kind of want to relate his story to you and how things used to work. I really, really wish I could just go down to California and interview him and let him tell you his experience and story in person. anyway, he started in the 70s working for Johnson Tractor, which is now owned by Quinn Caterpillar. And I think Johnson was out of Riverside, California, I'm not sure. But when he started out, he said he started disassembling machines for their used parts division. And they got experience in disassembling equipment, seeing how everything went together. From there, they moved him to the main shop. And I'm not sure the sequence of events, but he would go, let's say, in the engine bay and work with a seasoned journeyman mechanic overhauling engines. And he'd probably spend 2 years there. And then they would move him to the fuel bay, and he would learn how to overhaul fuel systems. Then he would go work in the transmissions, hydraulics, and whatever else. And he said that the owner would come in and just stop and visit with the guys, and he knew Dwayne's wife and that he had 2 dogs, and he'd ask him how, people were doing. He had a genuine interest in these people. And then in the 80s, when things really took a dive, and I remember that well because that's when Dad and I went down and bought the 666. And it was a fire sale. For those of you younger don't remember, interest rates were through the roof. And we had bought that first 637 that I have now, the one that's painted, doesn't have the bell on the front. And we financed that, and it was 21% interest. And I was young and gung-ho, and I told Dad, I said, hey, we really need this. And at the sale down in California, they had a couple of 37 push-pulls. And I tried to talk him into, let's buy these, because if we have 3 of these, there isn't anything we can't load. But he just had to have that 666 because it reminded him of his old DW20, and he loved that old turd. I pushed that scraper with TD24s and a D9H from the time I was 12. And anyway, we ended up buying the 666, and it was just an absolute fire sale. Everybody was selling everything. Cursed Construction sold everything in that sale, and they had 16 666s. They had a bunch of D9s. They had some HD 41s, 641s, 51s, 37, just rock trucks, more iron than you can shake a stick at. But Dwayne said that, the owner came in and he said he's not laying anybody off, that he spent too much time and too much money getting them all trained, and it would be stupid of him to lose these people. So he told them they were going to work 40 hours a week, whether it was painting the floor or whatever. And Dwayne mentioned that they poured all the curb and stuff in front of the business. And they just did things to keep busy, and he kept them there. And I said, how long did you work there? And I believe he told me 47 years. And he said, well, why would I want to leave? Because the Johnsons treated their employees so well. And you just don't find that anymore with cat dealers. Cat and John Deere really like the family-owned dealerships. But it seems like after 2 or 3 generations, the offspring, they just don't care anymore. They're just interested in money, and you're just a number, and we can replace you. Dwayne could tell this story a lot better than I can, but I just had to smile as he was telling me this, because it just reaffirms what I remember growing up at the cat dealers. They cared about the people did good work. It was just a different time. So that's the cool thing about YouTube, is the amount of people that I've met and the stories that they have. It would be really cool to go around and just talk to them and interview them, especially Dwayne. Times are changing, and I don't think it's changing for the better, especially when it comes to the people and the way they're treated. And, you know, if you pay a person enough money, they stay, they do good work, and they, like Dwayne, they stay there 47 years. Why would he want any other job? I mean, that says a lot for a man to stay there 47 years. That says a lot about the dealership. So that's my story. So hope you enjoyed the video. Not sure where we're going on the next one. I guess we'll just have to see. I got to start making some more phone calls, start locating parts, get them bought, get the machine work done, and then I can get reassembling.